falling backwards, like you're slipping through the cracks. Like no one would even notice if you left this town and never came back. You walk outside and all you see is rain. You look inside and all you feel is pain. You can't see it now, but down the road the sun is shining. Every cloud is a silver lining. Just keep holding on. And every heartache makes you stronger, but it won't be much longer. You'll find love and you'll find peace in the you're meant to be. I know right now that's not the way you feel, but one day you will. Wake up every morning, ask yourself, what am I doing here anyway? With all the weight of all these disappointments whispering in your ear, you're just barely hanging by a thread. You want to scream, but you're down to your last breath, 'cause you don't know it yet. But down the road the sun is shining. In every cloud there's a silver lining. Just keep holding on. Every heartache makes you stronger, and it won't be much longer. You'll find love, you'll find peace in the you're meant to be. I know right now that's not the way you feel, but one day you will find the strength to rise above. You will find just what you're made of. You're made of. Down the road the sun is shining. In every cloud there's a silver lining. Just keep holding on. Every heartache makes you stronger, and it won't be much longer. You'll find love, you'll find peace, and the you're meant to be. No, right now that's not the way you feel. I know right now that's not the way you feel. One day you will. Oh, one day you will. Oh, one day you will. We've all been there. We know that feeling that the sun is not coming up tomorrow. We know that feeling that this is it. From here on in, it's all downhill. We know that feeling. We've been that feeling. And then we get lucky and we read something like this. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. In the worst of times, when the hole seems entirely too deep, think on this. There's a beautiful story about the gentleman who was walking down the sidewalk, fell into a hole. Very, very deep hole. Couldn't get out. Priest walks by and says, Father, I need some help. Priest writes a prayer, throws it in the hole, and walks on. And a friend shows up. Says, buddy, can you help me? The friend jumps down into the hole. Said, what are you doing? Now we're both in the hole. And the friend says, yeah, but I've been down this hole and I know the way out. It's good to have friends like that. How our lives get better is when we realize that A, we're not in this alone. Ever. And B, when we accept that truth and live as if that is the truth. We function best as a community. We do. We feel better about ourselves when people tell us that they like us. We feel better about ourselves when people tell us that they love us. Surround yourselves with those people. You're in a room full of them right now. You're on a campus full of them right now. You are greatness personified. And I know that because it says that. I have plans to grow you and prosper you. Plans to give you hope and a future. We all understand despair. We all get that. We all understand it. We've been there. We felt it. Some are feeling it right now. Okay? We don't need to stay there. Find the person who has been down that hole and have them show you how to get out. Okay? We tend to call those people angels. We like to think of them as angels. We have those little angels that they show up in a time of need. It's amazing how that works. They have this incredible ability to show up when we need them the most. Bless you, sir. When we need them the most, they show up. It's the weirdest thing. We think there is no hope. We think there is no possibility. And we are wrong. We are just flat out wrong. And you know how I don't like saying right and wrong very much. And good and bad. I don't like those terms. Because it's all perspective. It's all perspective. A great story about this guy who's a farmer. And he has a horse, and his horse wanders off, and all his neighbors say, oh, that's just too bad. Your one and only horse wandered off. He said, well, maybe not. Next day, the horse comes back and brings 2 horses back with him. He said, neighbors, well, that's fantastic. Now you have 3 horses. Well, maybe not. Next day, his son gets on one of the wild horses, and the horse bucks and throws him off. His son breaks his leg. Neighbors say, oh, that's too bad. That's too bad. Your son broke his leg. And he said, well, maybe not. Next day, the army comes through, and they're conscripting all the able-bodied 18-year-old and 19-year-old men. But he has a broken leg, so he can't be conscripted. Then the neighbors say, wow, that's really fantastic. That's great that your son can get conscripted. And he said, well, maybe not. And the story can go on and on and on. It really is about perspective in many things. It really, truly is about perspective. And understanding that there is more for us. Okay? The God that I know has no limits. None whatsoever. She has never once said, Greg, you've got too much, I'm cutting you off. She's never said that. Ever. I've said it to me by my actions, and I've said it to me by my thoughts, and I've said it to me by my words, but God has never once said that to me. Never once. That's me saying that stuff. That's me saying it. That's me forgetting that. That's me pretending that that's not true. Just flat out ignoring it. Okay? That's me forgetting to do this every day. Step on the pen. Give thanks to the God of heaven, for his steadfast love endures forever. It's me forgetting that. It's me pretending that that's not true. Endures forever. Us crazy little humans, we have a tough time with forever. Forever is a tough concept for us. Because
conceptualize what forever looks like, but when the time comes to actually say, what's forever? What's infinity? How big is the universe? It's tough to wrap our heads around that. That's a big concept. That is a big, big concept. I want you to think back to every person who has ever loved you who is no longer here on this planet. Do you smile when you think about it? And how long has it been since they've been here? Now we're starting to grasp what forever feels like. Every person that we've ever known, every person that we have ever loved and that's loved us is just a thought away. Yeah, just a thought away. The thoughts are forever. Because I promise you, 100 years from now, there will be people sitting in a situation like that, and they're going to think about us. And what will they think about us? My hope is that they will think very wonderful things. Last week, we had a celebration of life service for Dylan's grandma. And I got to tell you, the stories that they were passing around about her were hysterical. Now, she was what, about 5'4", 5'5", something like that? I think maybe?
Probably.
Okay, if she was really stretched out, she was about 5'4", 5'5", okay? And they all said, and she was a volunteer at the hospital with the hospital auxiliary. And they had this one special table set up for all people. Now, she was the tall one of the group, right? So they put in this special table with these extra high chairs so they could sit there and kick their feet while they were having meetings, okay? She had them set that up. She said it's important to remember what it's like to be small and to be a child. It's important to remember that. She got it. She understood this. Remember the story about she and her husband, the first time that they met. She lived in a house over here, and the porch was there, and the basketball court was over there, and he would always keep an eye on that porch. And if he saw her, he would take off his shirt and kind of flex a little bit.
And they were 14.
14 years old, a little flexing. They had a skating rink in the area. He would go over there and he would, this was the days before Zambonis, took a little shovel and would scrape the entire skating rink for the 10 cents that it cost to rent skates so they could both skate. It's a love story. It's a love story. So is our relationship one to another. It's a love story. Or it could be. It could be. When we think of things like this, when we think about the idea of always giving thanks, the love comes easy. When I'm thankful for seeing everybody that I meet every day, you better believe that the love part comes really, really easy. One of the scribes came up and heard them disputing with one another, and seeing that he answered them well, asked, which commandment is the most important of all? You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The Lord our God, the Lord is one. This is Unity Church. We believe in the idea of unity. We believe in the idea that we are all created that we're all related. There's a biblical way to explain it. Adam and Eve, okay? Everybody came from Adam and Eve. Great, we're all related. That one's an easy one, right? Okay, from a scientific point of view, who believes in the Big Bang Theory? Okay, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, we were all created from the same atom. Great, we're all related. It's the same story told two different ways. Same story. We are all one. We are. We are merely different facets of the same thing. Different facets of exactly the same thing. Each and every person is important. Every person is valuable. Every person is necessary. And every person can do more. Have we ever met anyone who is just like completely maxed out on their capabilities and possibilities? Ever. Have we ever maxed out on our capabilities and possibilities ever? No. There's always more. There's more to be done. There's more that we can do. Okay? There's always more. And even better, there's always more to do. Teak, how did the fashion show go this last week? Did it? Teak has organized a fashion show as a fundraiser for Strength in Action Incorporated, a group that helps children in schools and raises money for them to help children get supplies and food and stuff so that they actually have food to eat all weekend long instead of you get the school meal on Friday and then hope and pray that you don't have Monday off, otherwise you're not going to eat until Tuesday. Okay? Helping people like this. So she organized this fashion show, great fundraiser over at Renaissance on 9th. And in fact, Eddie was one of the fashion models. Was he still exhausted from last weekend that he couldn't make it today? Oh my goodness. We got to work on that boy's stamina. We got to work on his stamina. Absolutely. See, this is an example of something to do. That right there. That is a perfect example of something. We have a middle school right here on the campus. Oasis Middle School. These are children that for various reasons have been kind of passed over a lot in the school system. There are some children there that are in the 6th grade that read at a 1st grade level or a 2nd grade level or sometimes not even that level. They've been in the Manatee County School District for 6 years or 7 years and they still don't speak English. How do you help a child in an English-speaking school district when they don't speak English? I don't know. The schools figured it out. They teach them English, so by the time they leave here after 3 years, they are reading on at least grade level, if not higher. They do math on at least grade level or higher, and they do the science on at least grade level or higher. And they manage to do that in 3 years. A lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of tutoring, a lot of agony, a lot of kicking and screaming, and that's the teachers. And the kids are work now. But yeah, and it's fun to watch because they had the graduation Friday, and all these kids were like dressed in nice clothes and everything, and I didn't recognize any of them because that's not what they normally look like, and I think their hair was done right. They were wearing deodorant, for goodness sakes. They were teenagers wearing deodorant. I don't know exactly what happened with that, but I'm certainly glad they did. And you look at these kids, and it's like at that moment they're understanding, wow, that really was important. Because look at all these people that are showing up to tell me that that's important. And it was fun watching that change come over them. Because, you're going to graduation and okay, we come filing in and we sit at the chairs and the music plays and we go up and we grab with our left hand and shake with our right hand, okay, and then we do it. And there's all that mechanical part of it. And then the time actually comes and here's a room full of people that are cheering and clapping for you because of what you did. And again, a lot of these students are children that had some real problems in school. They didn't speak English. Or they did speak English and it was horrible. They had been passed over so many times. 1 + 1 = 2 was a new concept for some of these kids, and they were in the 6th grade. And these teachers worked and worked and worked and pushed and pulled and kicked and whatever it took to get these kids up the level and above. Some of them already have scholarships. They're in the 8th grade and they get scholarships. Some of these kids have won governor awards. Some of these kids have won Southeast United States awards for their writing. 6th and 7th and 8th grade. That's another place they can come. You may have noticed I'm a big fan of education. I don't know if any of you have noticed it. I'm a big fan of education. Big fan of kids too. But then again, we're all children of God. Yeah. What it takes sometimes is remembering this. Let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and in truth. We got to understand that love is important. We have to make it real. We have to see it as a verb. We have to act like it is a verb. We have to do something. Anything. Absolutely anything. Organize a fashion show. Raise some money. Talk to people. Get involved in their lives. I don't know how many times on this campus there have been people that have come up to me and say, you know, I need this, or I need that, or I need something else. Just out of the lot, okay? And Kurt came in and said he had some Christmas decorations. And he just happened to be standing close enough to Dane so that Dane's ears picked up on that. Okay? He likes Christmas decorations. He has Christmas decorations to move on. It's perfect. And had he not said a word, that would have never happened. You want to talk about love as a verb? It has to be a word. It has to be on our lips, and we have to say it out loud. We have to tell people, I love you. We can't be afraid to look them in the eye and say that. We have to look people in the eye and we have to say, you are important to me. You matter. And we do fellowship afterwards. That's one of my most fun times of this entire service, is the fellowship afterwards. Well, the meet and greet part, that's fun too. The fellowship afterwards. Because that's when the really good stuff happens. And you get those kids from the other churches roaming through, and they're pirating off the food table, and we all pretend irate, but we really don't care because they're kids. And they're hungry and they're sugar driven anyway, so that all works fine. That all works fine. But it's that communication that happens. It's the saying it out loud. It's making it real. It's getting clear. It's a clarity that happens. Life can be very cloudy, very, very cloudy. We can kind of find our way through the fog, but still kind of not. It's very easy to get lost in the fog. And then we get that moment of clarity, that aha, that click, that click that lets us know that we need to make it something about doing, not so much a receiving. It is important to receive. It's very important to give too. We have to have receivers as well as givers. Got to have them. If there's no one to receive the gift, who do we give it to? We must learn to receive. We must be willing to let people help us. We have to be willing to do that. We have to be willing to say out loud, I need help. Can you help me? It requires putting yourself in the presence of people that you trust. And this can be the tough part. This can be the really difficult part. Because you will find people that in word or talk, I love you. I love you. In action and deed, they're stabbing you in the back. They are talking smack about you behind your back. Sometimes they'll do it right to your face. Sometimes they do, sometimes they do. So how do we know the difference? This is when getting in touch with ourselves is so critically important. A constant state of self-assessment. Constant. We are evolutionary creatures. 1 minute ago, we are different than we are now. And 1 minute from now, we'll be different than we are now. On an atomic level, you can look at it all the labs, and the electrons are flipping around, and the protons and neutrons are doing the rotating thing, and it is a constant state of change. It is a constant state of dying and rebirthing. Constant, constant, constant. The only constant in life is change. That is the only constant in life. And God's love. That was pretty constant too. I have plans to grow you and prosper you. Plans for a future and hope. And when we can get clear in our minds that this is true, when we can get clear in our minds that this is how it can be, when we can get clear in our minds that the thing to do is to say it out loud. Because when you put the words on enough ears, the right set of ears will hear it. But we can get clear in our minds that what we should do is say, I love you. And I love you, and 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 you. Why not? Okay? Then, once we do that, we're going to have to go out these doors at some point. We're going to have to go into that world out there. We're going to have to go into that world out there where there are people, well, contrary to what the media will tell you, that is not what most people are about. Most people really are good people. They really are. Most people are pretty fantastic. And when we get clear on it, it is amazing what happens. Again, clarity is a beautiful thing.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is the rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. Gonna be a bright, windex day. With clarity comes great happiness, comes great ease, great joy. When we get clear, we will realize that there is more waiting for us. Some really incredible people came up with some really incredible things. A hunger for love is much more difficult to remove than the hunger for bread. So saith Mother Teresa. Amen, dear. G.K. Chesterton, a famous English author, the way to love anything is to realize that it may be lost. I understand that one. I understand that one. You can see God from anywhere if your mind is set to love and obey Him. God loves each of us as if there were only one of us. But that's true because there is only one of us. This last one I love. God is love, therefore love. Without distinction, without calculation, without procrastination. Love. Henry Drummond, Scottish priest. Very intelligent. Very intelligent. Clean, clear, straight to the point. Without distinction, without calculation, without procrastination. Love. Don't wait for it. Don't make others wait for it either. And that's all I'm going to say about this.